Take 20. Action. So what we have here are 4 cups, 2 of rice, 1 of rice flakes, also known as pua, 1 of urid dal, which is black lentil, shelled, so it's not black anymore, and we've got a tablespoon of fenugreek seed. Now the rice, some people insist on using Idli rice. I don't really know if there's such a thing. I think it's a branding thing, but it's important to use a nice starchy rice that you like the taste of. Don't hold it against me. I'm using Thai jasmine rice because it's tasty and it's full of starch. So you can make dosa or idli with the same batter. So I was puzzled in the beginning why they soak the rice separately from the other ingredients, and that's because when we come to blend or grind this rice, it's coarse, and the pua, lentils and the fenugreek is very smooth, so that explains that. We don't add any salt at the moment either. So into a nice big bowl. I'm using a bigger bowl for the rice because it's going to expand slightly. Make sure it's got enough water to cover it. If you do use too much water, it's okay, you can drain it before you blend it. So that's going in over to the side now, and I'm going to put the rest of the ingredients into this bowl, and they're going to be soaked separately too. Let's do the same, and I'm soaking it overnight. Some people say 3 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. Just soak it overnight if you want, then it just makes the recipe convenient. Once those are blended, they're going to be soaked again until it ferments, which could be quite difficult in colder climates as we have in England. So, what's interesting about it, it does make me laugh, that it's now Sunday evening. It's going to be Tuesday morning when I'm able to make the actual idli or the dosa. So, we're going to come back once these have been soaked overnight for grinding. What it looks when it's been soaked overnight, it's a little bit dishevelled because I've poured a little bit of the excess water off the top. So all I'm going to do is blend these two into a really smooth paste, particularly the pua, fenugreek and the urid dal, and this is going to be as coarse as semolina. That's the consistency I'm going to blend. That grinding, I used a NutriBullet, which is a good quality grinder. I did it in batches. I did the rice first because you want the rice to be a little bit coarse, not too much, almost like fine semolina. And then the other ingredients, the fenugreek, the urid dal and the rice flakes, they need to be really smooth, and we can mix it now, and we can add salt to taste. So I'm using about a teaspoon of salt there, maybe a teaspoon and a half, that's the size of my finger, and we're going to give that a good mix. And now I need to find the warmest place in the house, possibly the airing cupboard, possibly inside the cooker, and I want that to ferment. We're knowing when it's fermented, when there's bubbling throughout, and that's the trick to get a nice soft dosa or idli. So, warmest place in the house after a... So, this is the finished product, nice and bubbled and fermented, a little bit of a sour odour coming off it that ensures it's fermented properly. So this batter can be used equally for idli or dosa, which is really interesting. So I'm going to be coming up with recipes for both in the near future, so do stay tuned for that. So how I fermented it in the cold climate of an English autumn was to keep the radiator on for a day and a half, and this was above the radiator on the windowsill. So obviously if you live in the tropics, 8 hours or overnight fermentation is adequate, but it's unfortunately not as warm as that in the UK. So I'm really excited to make this dosa and idli, and I hope you've enjoyed this little instructional video of how you make the batter.